Welcome in to the Fun Astrology Podcast for, in the U.S., Independence Day, July 4th, 2022. Thomas Miller, thanks for stopping by. We're going to keep this short and sweet, snappy here for the holiday, but I did have a couple of things because tomorrow is the really big day of the week, and it all happens, most of it, in the morning before the podcast will even be released. 3 big sign changes. We'll talk about that in just a sec. If you have questions for the rest of the week, just leave them on SpeakPipe at the top left corner of the funastrology.com website. Be a good week to answer some questions. When we last spoke on Thursday, I told you that I knew that I needed a break, and boy did I. And it was a restful one, and part of what happened during this break is told over on the Subconscious Mind Mastery podcast, so certainly you can check that out. And just a really big personal thing that happened over the weekend. So I would invite you, if you want to hear that story, to check over there. Another amazing thing that happened over this weekend was with astrology. I was talking to a new friend in my life who hadn't looked at astrology that much, was certainly aware of it, but not applied it, so didn't know the exact birth time. Those of you who had been listening to Old Soul, New Soul with Robert know that it was in one of our first 3 episodes that he talked about this rectification technique using the midheaven to find key events in our life and then dial them in to the exact time. Now, this is a story that happened many years ago, so healing has occurred, but I did also ask permission if this could be used. So there was a 30-minute window of time that was known, with an approximate time in the middle of that window, so that's where we began. There was a very key event in this person's life. It was the death of a male sibling that occurred when this person was 25 years old. So we took a look at the approximated guessed time and saw that the midheaven, which is the element that we move back and forth to align it with key events in the life, was sitting at 25 degrees Pisces. Looking directly across the chart, because I knew that this was the death of a sibling, I went straight to the 3rd house, and there was Mars at 25 degrees, in an exact opposition to the midheaven. So I asked, how old were you when your brother died? I was 25. I said, look down here and see, this is Mars. What degree is Mars at? Long silence. 25. You've got to be kidding me. It was a direct, exact correlation with that particular time. The midheaven did not have to be moved. And then, strictly using Robert's technique, I said, was this somehow related to the head? Mars ruling the head? Long silence. It was death by suicide to the head. And of course, this story wouldn't be complete without the following conversation about fate versus free will. And my answer to that was very clear to me, is that this signified the possibility that this could happen. But it didn't have to happen. There were other options. It could have taken another turn, and then that Mars at 25 degrees would have been interpreted a different way. So this is the incredible power of the astrological chart, brought right down to determining a birth time based on something that happened many, many years ago. Astrology is truly amazing. Now, we have 3 big sign changes for tomorrow. Mars, first of all, enters Taurus at 2 a.m. Eastern Time. Then right behind that, 2:25 a.m., Mercury moves into Cancer. Immediately, 10 minutes later, it sextiles Mars, both sitting on those respective cusps. Then at 2 p.m. tomorrow, 2 in the afternoon, 2's a big deal tomorrow. We need to look up the numerology on that. The moon goes void, of course. 4.5 hours, then it enters Libra at 6:24 p.m. So you've got Mars, Mercury, and the moon. The 3 M&Ms in the chart are all changing signs tomorrow. Obviously, the one I've got my eye on is that Mars entering Taurus, because Taurus is the money area and the markets. We will see. God of War, what do you have in mind? We'll talk about this more tomorrow, and we'll set up the entire month of July on tomorrow's episode. You guys have a great rest of the holiday in the U.S. Sending love to everyone. We'll see you back tomorrow. Bye-bye.